Hey English 102 students, welcome to week 13 of our course. I hope you're enjoying this really beautiful spring weather we've been having, that you've had a really nice Easter weekend with your family and friends, and so get outside and enjoy a little bit of nice weather while you can. But we do still have a few more weeks to go in English 102, so let's go ahead and tackle that. Okay, so let's take a look at our course calendar. So I've scrolled it all the way down to week 12, which we're just finishing up now. So you're submitting your annotated bibliographies. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing all the good work you've done on those. I'll be giving you lots of feedback on them, on all your different sources, on your citation format, whether it's MLA or APA. I'll take a look at the summaries of your sources, the reasons why you're deciding to use those different sources in your project, so look out for those comments. The critical response essays, I'm not finished with those yet. It has been a really busy week with lots of projects coming my way from different classes, so you'll see those early this week, Monday or Tuesday, hopefully, at the latest. And then I'll move on to looking at your annotated bibliographies at that point. Okay, this week we're moving on to Module 8, which is kind of the final set of lessons that you're going to be looking at before diving into your final problem solution research report. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the materials in Module 8. All right, let's move all the way down here and down to Module 8. Putting everything together. So this graphic here on the writing process is kind of a helpful one for envisioning all the different steps you're going through. So, you know, you've already generated your topic. We did that much earlier in the semester. Pre-writing, you've done that in some of your assignments already, whether it was the curiosity essay in the beginning. I gave you lots of pre-writing questions in those assignments, the critical response essay. You've been collecting lots of evidence throughout all this process. The research notes assignment in Module 4, for example, and all the research activities we did in that module. Organizing, you've thought about doing that for all your essay assignments, and you'll be doing it for the final project as well. You're going to be working on the draft of your final project in a couple of weeks. You'll be revising that with my comments and comments from classmates, and then you're going to be producing that final version that you'll submit at the very end of the semester. Okay, so that's kind of why we call this module Putting Everything Together. Okay, so the first assignment you're going to be working on is called 4 Types of Thesis Statements, and to learn about those 4 types of thesis statements, you'll be watching this attached video right here. Okay, since you'll be writing a problem solution essay, your thesis is likely to take the form of a report plus research thesis statement. For the research part of your thesis statement, you'll need to choose from among the 4 types explained in the video. Okay, and what you're going to be doing with that information is kind of crafting a working thesis statement for your final paper. And it's a working thesis statement, which means it's a work in progress. I'm going to be giving you feedback, individual feedback for every student about how your thesis statement looks, where you might still need to make some changes. Okay, so for your thesis statement, keep in mind that you're going to be working on a problem solution research report as your last assignment. So your thesis statement should address a problem. What problem are you writing about and explaining to your readers? It's also a problem solution research report. So what solutions are you proposing that are going to help people with that particular problem? And the goal with your thesis statement, this is what you want to convince your readers of. It's the claim or the argument or the assertion that you're putting out there for the whole world to hopefully be convinced by. So keep that in mind as you put together your thesis statement. Assignment 8.2, you're going to be reviewing putting together an academic paragraph. If you remember back in a previous module, you learned about the ICE method, which is introduce, cite, and explain. This is going to be reviewing that concept before you jump into the final problem solution research report. Because it's just a skill that needs reinforcement, I think. So you'll watch either the MLA video or the APA video that reviews how that works. They don't use the terminology ICE, but the procedure, the process is exactly the same. Okay, once you've done that, you're going to open up the attached document, which is this one, putting together an academic paragraph. You have 3 paragraphs here, all different topics. The first one is about domestic surveillance programs in the US. The other is about recognition of the video game industry. And the third one is childhood obesity and screen time. Okay, so just so you're aware, these are all paragraphs written by real students who were in my classes before, and I've asked their permission to use their paragraphs as examples for you who are now in my class. And so what you're going to be doing is picking apart those paragraphs and learning about how they're put together. So you're going to choose these colors and you're going to label the different sections. So level 1, you're going to label right here. Is the paragraph you're looking at a problem paragraph? Like, does it describe the problem? Or is it a solution paragraph? It's proposing a solution to a problem. So you're going to see a couple of different kinds here. Then in each paragraph, you will label the claim or the topic sentence. So what is the writer trying to argue in this paragraph? And that's usually going to be the first or second sentence, or maybe both. Then that should be followed by reasons. You'll label those reasons in green. So, the writer's going to explain their claim or topic sentence in a little bit more detail. Then will come the evidence. And in some paragraphs, 1 or 2 of these paragraphs, you might find reasons, evidence, reasons, evidence. You might find a little bit of both, or they'll appear more than once in the paragraph. So take a look for that. Evidence can be quotes from reliable sources, paraphrases, even examples that the writer brings in. So look for that evidence, and then finally you'll label the last 1 or 2 sentences as concluding or transition sentences. Okay, so I want to see how you interpret these paragraphs and how they're put together, how they apply the ICE method in real life. Okay. So the very last assignment that you see here is 8.3 Writing Conclusions. And you'll go to this Rhetoric and Composition online textbook from Bay College. I've had you do a couple of other short readings from this textbook earlier on. And you'll be going to the middle of page 106 to the top of page 109. Skip exercise 3 for initially, at least in number 1. You're going to read the example introductory paragraph at the bottom of page 108 and indicate which techniques the writer used in her conclusion and comment on how each sentence adds to the strength of the paragraph. Okay, and then in number 2, then you're going to go to exercise 3, which is like on page 108, I think. Restate the thesis you wrote previously in this module in exercise 8.1. So you're going to take your thesis statement that you already wrote and rewrite it in different words, just like you would in your actual paper. Okay, and then add some concluding remarks and a general emphatic statement, kind of using that concluding paragraph from the Rhetoric and Composition book as your model. Okay, you'll combine these into a draft of the conclusion for your final problem solution research report. So in this module, you're going to be putting together your thesis. You're also going to be drafting a conclusion. So when you submit this, just take a blank Word document. You can copy and paste the paragraph from page 108, add your comments to it, and then add your restated thesis and concluding paragraph for number 2. You can just type that and then submit them at the 8.3 link. Okay, now since the problem solution research report draft is coming up a week later, Sunday, April 18th, I do want you to know where that information is to submit it and all the assignment information. Okay, and before we do that though, we are going to give you this week's video code. So this is week 13 video code, and that is going to be Easter 2021, and that little symbol right there. Okay, so that's the code you're going to need to enter to get your extra credit point for watching this video this week. Okay, Now we'll head back into our modules and all the way down to module, well, the final module, module 9, I guess you could call it, or just the final module. So it's kind of like making it to the end of the race here. Okay. So you're going to see under Major Writing Assignment 4, Problem Solution Research Report, I'm not going to go through the specifics this week. I think you have enough to think about with assignments 8.1, 8.2, and 8.3. But you can go ahead and start to take a look at the guidelines for the final paper. And you'll see that there are sample papers in both MLA and APA style. So you can also take a look at those depending on which one you plan on doing. So along with the 3 assignments you're working on this week, just go ahead and take a sneak peek at those guidelines and examples. And then in next week's video, I'll give a more detailed explanation of that. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope everything goes well. Look out for grades and comments on the critical response essays and your bibliographies, and I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.